It was the largest space arena ever built, floating between stars like a metal god. Thousands of alien species filled the massive chamber. Their voices echoed from steel walls, mixed with strange sounds, clicks, hums, roars, and deep vibrations that no human ear could fully understand. Today was a special day. Today, the galaxy judged a new species. Humans. At the center of the arena stood a wide circular platform. Bright white lights shined down from above. Floating screens showed data, power levels, and combat records of the strongest races in the galaxy. One by one, alien warriors stepped forward to display their weapons. Energy blades that could cut through planets. Plasma cannons worn on arms. Gravity hammers that could crush tanks into dust. The crowd cheered loudly every time a weapon was shown. Then silence fell. A small figure walked onto the platform. She was human. Not only that, she was a child. An 11-year-old human girl. She was short, slim, and wore simple dark clothes. No armor, no technology, no glowing implants. Her brown hair was tied back, and her face was calm, too calm. In her hands, she carried only one thing, a sword, not an energy blade, not a plasma weapon. A simple samurai sword made of metal. For a moment, the entire hall was silent. Then the laughter started. At first, it was soft, confused sounds, then louder. Soon, the whole arena exploded with mockery. Aliens laughed openly. Some pointed their claws at the sword. Some slapped their armored knees. Others activated scanners again and again, sure the system was broken. "That weapon is primitive," one alien shouted. "Is this a joke?" Another laughed. "That blade belongs in a museum." A tall, insect-like commander leaned forward. "Is this child lost?" he asked, his voice filled with sarcasm. The laughter grew stronger. The human girl stood still. She did not react. She did not lower her head. She did not speak. She simply held the sword. The galactic judge, a massive being made of crystal and light, raised a glowing hand. The laughter slowly faded. "This is a representative of Earth," the judge asked. A human envoy stood behind the girl. His face was serious. "Yes," he replied. "She is." A wave of disbelief spread through the hall. "You send a child?" An alien general scoffed. "And with that weapon?" The samurai sword reflected the bright lights above. It looked old, simple, almost fragile compared to the alien weapons around it. "This trial is for survival," another voice said. "For strength." The girl finally moved. She took one step forward. The sound of her shoes echoed softly on the metal floor. "My name is Aiko," she said in a quiet, steady voice. "I am ready." More laughter followed. "Ready to lose," someone shouted. "Humans must be desperate," another said. Aiko did not answer. She closed her eyes for a brief moment and took a slow breath. The galactic judge studied her closely. "You understand the rules?" the judge asked. "Yes," Aiko replied. "You face a combat test," the judge continued. "If you fail, humanity loses its claim for respect among the stars." "I understand," she said. The judge paused. "You may still withdraw." Aiko opened her eyes. "No," she said simply. Something in her voice caused a few aliens to stop laughing. The judge nodded slowly. "Very well." The lights in the arena changed. The platform expanded. Energy shields rose around the combat zone. "The first test will begin," the judge announced. A massive door on the far side of the arena began to open. Heavy footsteps echoed as something large moved forward. The crowd grew excited again. Aiko tightened her grip on the sword. Her hands did not shake. From the shadows stepped her opponent. It was huge, covered in thick armor. Multiple arms, each holding advanced weapons. Its eyes glowed red as scanners locked onto the small human girl. The creature smiled. "A child," it growled. "This will be fast." Aiko stood her ground. Around the arena, aliens leaned forward, eager to watch. They expected fear. They expected tears. They expected failure. What they saw instead was calm. The girl slowly raised the samurai sword. The blade did not glow. It did not hum. It made no sound at all. But for the first time since the trial began, the laughter stopped. The combat timer began to count down. 3, 2, 1. The test started, and the galaxy was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. The moment the countdown ended, the arena felt different. The air grew heavy. The energy shields around the platform shimmered like invisible walls of power. Thousands of alien eyes locked onto the small human girl, standing alone at the center. Aiko did not move. Her opponent did. The armored alien stepped forward, each footstep shaking the platform. Its armor was thick, layered with glowing symbols that showed rank and combat history. This was not a weak fighter. It was a veteran of many wars. The alien lifted one of its weapons. A plasma cannon hummed as energy gathered inside it. "You will not feel pain for long," the creature said, its voice deep and cruel. "You are too small to suffer." The crowd reacted with cheers and cruel laughter. Aiko lowered her body slightly, her feet firm on the floor. Her hands held the samurai's sword in a steady grip. The blade pointed downward, calm and quiet. The alien fired. A blast of blue plasma rushed toward her, bright enough to hurt the eyes. Many aliens turned away, already sure the fight was over. But Aiko moved. She did not jump back. She did not run. She stepped forward. Her sword flashed once. The plasma blast split in two, cutting around her body and crashing into the shield behind her. Sparks exploded in the air. The arena fell silent. The alien froze. "What?" it growled. The galactic judge leaned forward. The crystal being's light flickered with interest. Aiko continued walking. Slow, controlled, calm. The alien roared and fired again. Then again, and again. Each blast came faster than the last. Each one missed. Aiko moved like flowing water. She turned her body, stepped aside, and guided the blade with smooth motions. She was not fighting the attacks. She was redirecting them. Scanners across the arena went wild. "Impossible," an alien scientist whispered. "Her reaction speed is too high for a child." "She has no enhancements," another replied. "No tech. This is pure skill." The armored alien became angry. It dropped the cannon and charged forward, swinging a massive energy blade from above. The weapon screamed as it cut through the air. Aiko raised her sword. The two blades met. Metal struck energy. There was no explosion, no sparks, just a sharp, clean sound. The energy blade shattered. The alien stumbled backward, staring at the broken weapon in disbelief. "How?" it demanded. Aiko did not answer. She stepped inside the alien's guard and struck once. Not hard, not fast, just precise. The alien's armor split at the joint. The creature froze, then slowly fell to one knee. Its systems shut down to prevent further damage. The fight was over. The entire arena was silent. No cheers, no laughter, only shock. The galactic judge raised a glowing hand. Combat concluded. It announced, "Winner, the human." For a moment, no one reacted. Then voices erupted across the hall. "That was luck," someone shouted. "A trick," another yelled. "Run the test again." A tall reptilian commander slammed its claw on the railing. "One fight proves nothing," it said. "The child must face a stronger opponent." Many aliens nodded in agreement. Aiko stood quietly, her sword lowered. She showed no pride, no anger, no smile. The judge turned toward her. "Do you wish to continue?" "Yes," Aiko said. Her answer was immediate. This time, the laughter did not return. The arena shifted again. The platform expanded further. Warning lights flashed as the system prepared a higher-level challenge. From above, massive doors opened. Something large descended slowly. It was not a single warrior. It was a combat machine, a towering mechanical construct controlled by an elite alien mind. Its body was made of dark metal, layered with weapons, missile pods, laser cannons, and crushing arms. The crowd gasped. "That machine defeated an entire battle squad," someone whispered. "No organic fighter has ever beaten it," another said. The machine landed with a thunderous crash. Red lights scanned the arena. "Target locked," a mechanical voice said. Aiko took a slow breath. For the first time, the human envoy behind her looked worried. "Aiko," he said softly, "you don't have to." "I know," she replied without turning around. She stepped forward again. The machine attacked instantly. Missiles fired. Lasers cut across the platform. The floor melted under the heat. Aiko ran. She did not run away. She ran toward it. Her movements were small and sharp. She dodged through explosions, jumped over cracks, and slid beneath laser beams. Each movement was exact, as if planned long before the fight began. Aliens watched in stunned silence. "This is not possible," an alien general muttered. "She is predicting the machine." "No," another replied slowly. "She trained for this." The machine swung a massive arm. Aiko leapt upward, using the arm as a step. She ran along its surface, her sword flashing again and again. Metal split. Systems failed. The machine froze mid-motion and collapsed forward, lifeless. The impact shook the arena. Aiko landed lightly on the ground. She turned and faced a galactic judge. "I am ready for the next test," she said. No one laughed. No one spoke. Across the stars, cameras recorded everything. And for the first time in galactic history, fear began to replace mockery. The arena did not cheer. It did not shout. It did not breathe. The broken combat machine lay silent on the platform, smoke rising from its metal body. Red warning lights flickered once, then faded into darkness. Systems across the arena confirmed the truth. The machine was defeated by a human child. Aiko stood still, her sword lowered at her side. She did not look at the fallen machine. She did not look at the crowd. Her breathing was calm, steady, controlled. Across the vast trial hall, alien leaders stared at their screens in disbelief. "This is not possible," said a Horn commander, his voice tight. "That machine was built to kill armies." "It analyzed every movement," replied an alien technician. "It should have adapted." "It did adapt," another voice answered quietly, "but she adapted faster." The galactic judge rose slowly, crystal body glowing brighter than before. The judge's voice echoed through the hall. "Human representative." It said, "Explain." A human envoy stepped forward. His hands were behind his back, his posture respectful but firm. "She trained," he said simply. Laughter almost came again, but it died before it could begin. "Trained?" An alien council member snapped. "No child can train enough to do this." The envoy turned his head slightly toward Aiko. "On Earth," he said, "discipline begins early. Skill is not rushed. It is repeated, again and again, until the body moves before fear can speak." Aiko finally looked up. Her eyes were calm, but deep. The judge studied her. "Is this true, child?" "Yes," Aiko answered. "I practice every day." "How long?" the judge asked. Aiko thought for a moment. "Since I could stand." A wave of unease moved through the crowd. The judge raised a glowing hand. "The trial will continue," it announced, "but the rules will change." The lights dimmed. "This is no longer a test of weapons," the judge said. "It is now a test of endurance." The platform shifted again. The arena floor transformed, reshaping into uneven terrain, ridges, broken metal, deep gaps, and rising heat vents. "Survive!" the judge commanded, against multiple opponents. Warning sirens echoed. From different entrances, shapes began to appear. 1, then 3, then 6. Elite alien warriors stepped into the arena together. Each was chosen from a different species. Each was known for killing humans on distant battlefields. Aiko stood alone. No armor, no shield, no technology, only the sword. The alien warriors spread out, surrounding her. "You should surrender," one of them said. "This is no longer a game." Aiko shook her head slowly. "I cannot." The warriors attacked together. Energy blasts filled the air. Blades struck from all sides. The ground cracked under heavy blows. Aiko moved. She did not rush. She did not panic. She flowed. She used the terrain, jumping onto broken walls, sliding down slopes, running along narrow edges. Her sword struck only when needed. Each movement saved energy. Each step had purpose. One alien fell after losing balance. Another dropped when its weapon failed. A third collapsed after a precise strike to a weak joint. The crowd watched in silence. "This is not strength," an alien scholar whispered. "This is control." Minutes passed. The remaining warriors slowed. Their breathing grew heavy. Their attacks became wild. Aiko did not slow. Her face showed no anger, no excitement, only focus. One by one, the warriors fell. The last alien dropped its weapon and stepped back. "I refuse to die for pride," it said. The judge raised a hand. Combat ended. The arena froze. Aiko lowered her sword. For the first time, the crowd stood, not in celebration, in respect. Whispers spread across the hall. If this is a child, what are their soldiers like? How many more like her exist? The galactic judge turned toward the council. "The trial has revealed something unexpected," it said. "Humanity does not rely on power alone." The judge looked at Aiko again. "Child, why do you fight?" Aiko thought for a long moment. "Because one day," she said, "someone stronger may come. And when they do, I must be ready." The answer sent a chill through the hall. The judge paused. "There is one final phase," it said. "Not today." The crowd stirred. "This trial will continue across the stars," the judge announced. "Humanity will be observed." Aiko sheathed her sword. As she walked off the platform, aliens moved aside without realizing it. No one laughed. No one mocked. Across the galaxy, transmissions spread rapidly. Military leaders replayed the footage. Strategists paused their plans. Empires reconsidered old assumptions. A simple sword. A human child. A lesson learned too late. And somewhere among the stars, fear began to grow, not of the blade, but of the people who taught their children to wield it. The trial did not end when Aiko left the arena. In many ways, it had only just begun. Across the galaxy, the recording spread faster than any war signal. Every major empire, alliance, and military council received the same footage. Again and again, they watched the same scenes. A small human girl, a simple metal sword, advanced warriors falling one by one. Silence followed each replay. In a distant star system, a council of warlords gathered around a floating screen. The image froze on Aiko standing among defeated enemies. "This must be edited," one warlord said. "No child can move like that." "It is verified," another replied. "Multiple angles. No false data." A third warlord leaned back slowly. "Then we have made a mistake." Similar meetings happened everywhere. On research worlds, scientists argued late into the cycle. On military planets, generals stopped laughing at old reports. On trade stations, merchants whispered about human danger. One question echoed across the stars. If this is a child, what are the adults like? Back at the galactic trial station, the mood had changed completely. Where there was once noise and mockery, now there was quiet tension. Alien officials moved carefully, watching the humans with new eyes. Aiko sat in a waiting chamber, cross-legged on the floor. The sword rested beside her. She cleaned the blade slowly, calmly, as if nothing important had happened. A human officer entered the room. "You did well," he said. Aiko nodded. "Thank you. You are being watched," he added, "by everyone." "I know," she replied. Outside the chamber, the Galactic Council argued. She must not be allowed to continue. A reptilian leader said, "This trial was meant to measure strength, not shame us." "She followed every rule," replied the galactic judge. "The shame is not hers." Another council member spoke, voice shaking slightly. "If humans train children like this, they are a long-term threat." The word threat echoed loudly. The judge raised a glowing hand. "This council will not act in fear." "Fear," a commander snapped. "Fear is rational." Before the argument could continue, alarms sounded throughout the station. Not attack alarms. Priority alerts. A massive holographic display appeared in the center of the council chamber. Dozens of star systems lit up at once. Reports flooded in. Human fleets were not advancing. Human weapons were not deploying. Human borders remain calm. They are doing nothing, an alien analyst said. Absolutely nothing. That is worse, another replied. The judge turned slowly. Explain. They are confident, the analyst said. They do not need to react. They already know the result. The council fell silent. Back in the arena, a new announcement echoed. The trial will continue, the judge declared. One final test remains. The crowd returned, but this time they sat quietly. No cheers, no laughter. Aiko stepped onto the platform again. This time, she was not alone. 3 human observers stood behind her. They were calm, still, watching. The judge spoke. This test is not about combat, it said. It is about choice. The platform changed once more. A simulated colony appeared around them. Buildings, streets, small life signs moving inside. The scenario is simple, the judge continued. This colony will fall unless defended. Holographic markers appeared. Incoming forces. Multiple directions. Overwhelming numbers. Alien raiders will attack. The judge said, you may fight, or you may flee, or you may surrender. The crowd watched closely. Aiko looked at the colony. She saw small figures inside. Families, children. She did not hesitate. I will defend them, she said. You will be outnumbered, the judge warned. Aiko nodded. I know. The simulation began. Enemy forces poured in from every side. Fast, ruthless, armed. Aiko moved to the front of the colony. She did not charge. She waited. When the first enemy reached the boundary, she struck. Not to kill. To stop, she disabled weapons, broke formations, forced enemies away from the civilians. She placed herself between danger and the weak. Aliens in the crowd noticed something important. She is not trying to win, an alien medic whispered. She is trying to protect. The attackers grew desperate. They changed tactics. They tried to slip past her. They failed. Again and again. Aiko was wounded. Small cuts, bruises, burn marks. She did not stop. Minutes turned into hours. The simulation strained its limits. Finally, the attackers withdrew. The colony remained standing. The judge ended the test. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then the galactic judge spoke again, voice louder than before. The trial is complete. The judge turned toward the council. Humanity has passed. The word sent shockwaves through the station. Aiko lowered her sword. The judge addressed the entire galaxy. Let this be recorded, it said. Humans do not seek dominance. They seek readiness. The judge looked at Aiko one last time. You may leave, it said. But know this, your species will never be underestimated again. As Aiko walked away, aliens stood and stepped aside, not in fear, in respect. Across the stars, war plans were rewritten. Old jokes were erased. New warnings were issued. Humanity was no longer a question. It was an answer, and the galaxy was still trying to understand it. The galaxy did not sleep after the trial. Across thousands of worlds, leaders stayed awake, watching the same recordings again and again. Not the fights, not the victories. They watched the details. The way the human girl breathed before moving. The way she waited instead of rushing. The way she protected others before herself. In a high-security council chamber on a distant capital world, the strongest alien empires gathered in emergency session. This is no longer about one child, a silver-scale leader said. This is about a pattern. Screens shifted to new footage. Human training grounds. Human cities. Human children practicing calmly, again and again. No enhancements. An alien scientist reported. No combat drugs. No neural control. Then what is it? A warlord demanded. The scientist hesitated. Culture. The word spread like a slow shockwave. Back on the galactic trial station, Aiko sat quietly with her sword across her knees. A medical unit cleaned her wounds, but she barely noticed. Her eyes were calm, thoughtful. The galactic judge requested a private audience. Aiko stood and followed without fear. They entered a chamber filled with soft light. No guards. No weapons. The judge turned toward her. "Why did you not show fear?" it asked. Aiko thought carefully. "Fear is loud," she said. "My teacher said listening to fear makes you slow." The judge paused. "Your teacher trained you for war?" "No," Aiko replied. "For life." That answer stayed in the chamber. The judge continued. "The galaxy believed humans were weak because you lacked natural weapons." Aiko looked down at her sword. "We build what we need," she said. "Then we train to use it responsibly." Outside the chamber, the human envoy spoke to council. "You ask what makes us dangerous," he said calmly. "It is not strength. It is preparation." The council listened closely now. "We do not train children to fight," the envoy continued. "We train them to control themselves. Fighting is only the result when control fails." An alien commander leaned forward. "And how many like the girl exist?" The envoy met his gaze. "Enough." That was all he said. Across the galaxy, panic did not come as screams or attacks. It came as silence. Border fleets stopped advancing. Invasion plans were delayed. Old threats were erased from records. Human space remained quiet. Too quiet. Back on Earth, Aiko's teacher watched the broadcast from a small training hall. He was old, his movements slow, but his eyes were sharp. "She bowed correctly," he said softly. "Good." Someone beside him asked, "Are you proud?" The teacher shook his head. "No, this is normal." On the trial station, the council met one final time. "We must redefine humanity's status," the galactic judge said. "They have earned military respect." One leader said, "They deserve alliance." Another added. A third voice spoke, low and uncertain, "Or they should be contained." The room grew tense. The judge raised its hand. Humans do not expand without cause. They do not conquer without reason. Fear is not reason. The judge turned to the final record of the trial. "The child showed us something important," it said. "She could have destroyed. Instead, she protected." The council fell silent. Aiko was called back into the main hall. This time, she walked on the platform while every being stood. No one laughed. No one whispered. The judge addressed her. "You have changed the balance of understanding in the galaxy," it said. "Do you know this?" Aiko looked around at the countless faces staring at her. "No," she said honestly. "I only did what I was taught." "And what was that?" the judge asked. "To be ready," Aiko replied, "and to be kind until kindness is no longer safe." A deep silence followed. The judge announced the final decision. "Humanity will be recognized as a high-discipline species," it declared. "Their territory is protected. Their culture is to be studied, not mocked." The words echoed across the stars. Aiko bowed respectfully. As she turned to leave, the judge spoke once more. "One question, child. If the galaxy attacks your people one day, what will you do?" Aiko stopped. She thought. Then she answered. "We will defend ourselves," she said, calmly. She walked away. Across the galaxy, that single word, calmly, terrified more leaders than any threat ever had, because they finally understood the truth. Humans were not loud. They did not boast. They did not rush. They waited. They prepared. And when the moment came, they did not miss. History did not mark the end of the trial as a battle. It marked it as a moment. Across the galaxy, the final declaration replayed on every major channel, station, and council hall. Humanity is recognized as a high-discipline species. For many, the words felt unreal. For others, they felt late. On distant worlds where humans were once mocked, old broadcasts quietly disappeared from archives. Jokes about weak earthlings were no longer told. Military academies removed outdated training manuals. The galaxy was adjusting. Slowly, carefully, on the galactic trial station, the massive arena stood empty. The lights were dim. The echoes of laughter that once filled the hall were gone. Aiko stood near one of the wide observation windows. Stars stretched endlessly before her. Her sword rested against the wall beside her. The human envoy approached quietly. "It's over," he said. Aiko nodded. "Yes. You did something no fleet ever could," he continued. "You changed how they think." Aiko looked at her reflection in the glass. "I didn't try to," she said. "I only follow my training." "That training may have saved lives," the envoy replied. Aiko was silent. Far away on an alien border world, a fleet commander received new orders. The command was short. "Stand down. Avoid human space." The commander stared at the message for a long time. He remembered laughing when the first reports came in. A child, a sword. Now, he felt no urge to laugh. On another world, a young alien student practiced with a training blade. The instructor corrected their stance. "Why do we train like this now?" the student asked. The instructor paused. "Because humans do," he answered. Back on Earth, Aiko returned to her training hall. There were no crowds, no celebrations, no reporters, only the quiet sound of wood floors and controlled breathing. Her teacher stood waiting. "You returned safely," he said. Aiko bowed deeply. "Yes, teacher." He looked at her carefully. "Did you learn anything?" Aiko thought for a moment. "The galaxy is loud," she said, "and afraid." The teacher nodded. "And you?" "I am still learning," she replied. He smiled faintly. "Good." Across the stars, something else began to happen. Alien observers requested cultural exchanges. Not for weapons, not for technology, for training. Human academies received strange visitors, tall, short, scaled, armored. They came to watch, to learn, to understand. They saw children practicing balance, patience, discipline, respect. "No anger?" one alien asked. "Anger is heavy," a human instructor replied. "It slows you down." That lesson spread faster than fear ever had. Years passed. Aiko grew older. She did not become a general. She did not become a ruler. She did not become a legend by choice. But her name appeared in history, records across the galaxy. The child of the trial. The blade that spoke softly. On the anniversary of the trial, the galactic judge addressed the council once more. "We were not defeated," the judge said. "We were corrected." The council listened. "We believed power was noise," the judge continued. "Humans showed us power as silence before action." The judge paused. "And that silence saved us from a war we would not have won." In the far future, when young beings asked why the galaxy treated humanity with care, the elders told a simple story. "Once we laughed at a sword," they said, "and a child showed us why we should not." On a quiet night on Earth, Aiko stood outside, looking up at the stars. She no longer carried the sword every day, but she still trained, still practiced, still prepared. A younger student approached her. "Teacher," the child asked, "are the aliens afraid of us?" Aiko shook her head gently. "No," she said. "They are learning." "Learning what?" the child asked. Aiko looked up at the sky. "That strength without control is noise," she said. "And control without kindness is empty." The child nodded, not fully understanding. But one day they would. Far beyond Earth, in deep space, a warning message remained permanently carved into galactic archives. It was not written by humans. It was written by those who once laughed. Never judge a species by its weapons alone. And never laugh at what you do not understand. The galaxy remembered, and it never laughed again.